Done a little bit of remedial work. So we can see the side panels back on and the footrest. And I've made it so you can put your full weight on it. Happy days. Yeah, basically it was just held on by two bolts underneath. One of them had wound loose, so that's what made it like loose up and down. So that's what made me think, oh, well, you mustn't stand on them, they're just like a footrest. But they're not. You can stand on them. I took it fully off, straightened the bracket because it had bent, put two new bolts in. It actually uses the same fixing as the plate for this, hence that it came off as well. So anyway, that's rectified, that's happy days. So the next time you're on it, Ken, feel free to just stand on that.
No.
Aye, you can stand on them now. So next thing is to get back out on it. Dilly dilly. We have deliveries. So a new rear suspension, shock absorber and springs for the Trike. Get them fitted now because they won't take too long. I've ordered this universal master cylinder. It's used for kit cars and the like. Also Land Rover Mark 3s or something like that. But had to buy a double banjo to fit the brake lines, because basically this is going to split to the two rear slave cylinders at the back. Had to buy this, which is basically just a I think a 7/16 UNF to barb, so I can put on there the reservoir feed for the brake fluid. Yeah, although this has a push rod fixed, I'm going to remove that. It's basically just got a spring clip in there, so I'll take that off, and the original push rod that's on the bike will just go inside there, and hopefully not leak like the current one does. So yeah, could save us a small fortune this if it works, because this only cost, well, that itself was 20 quid. I think that was a fiver, and I think that was 7 quid, something like that. So not a huge amount of money, considering to get the original Boom Trike master cylinder, because of the rarity, they're 150 quid. So yeah, quite a saving there if we can get this to work. The mountains aren't the same. The original one now mounts that way, and obviously this one I've got to mount this way typically. However, it shouldn't take much to kind of manufacture something where I can fix it that way. Right, happy days, that's that. Let's crack on, dilly dilly. Well, all good things come to an end. That includes the weather. So, done a bit of a configuration there, keep us dry, get some work on this Trike. So the plan is, still got issues with the brakes. I'm going to remove one of the brake lines. So where I've got the double banjo on here feeding each individual brake caliper, I'm going to take one of them out of the loop, put a single banjo on, and then see if I get enough brake pressure to activate one caliper. And I think I'll do this right one because it's more undercover. Dilly dilly. Okay, we have some success. Yeah, so it's on that back caliper now. However, I've bled it. And when I press the pedal now, it pretty much goes all the way down, no resistance. do it again, and then it locks on. So basically you've got to pump it just once, then once again, and then you get the full brake pressure. So it's kind of working, which is a better sign. And again, I just have to make sure that you know, I take it for a good ride out, make sure it doesn't lock on. But I'm quite happy now what the issue was, because I'd already wound out the plunger so far. It couldn't come back far enough for the return valve, so it just kept on constantly building up pressure, hence the brakes were locking on. So yeah, to that end, that plunger's got to be fully back, the plunger on the brake lever, if you like, or the push plunger, has just got to contact the plunger inside the master cylinder. I can't push the plunger in the master cylinder any forward and set it, because it doesn't come back far enough for the return valve, hence it builds up the pressure. Hope that kind of makes sense. So that's why I've now put on the single line with a single banjo, so therefore it doesn't require that much movement of the liquid, the brake fluid, to try and push on two large calipers at the back. And as I say, that has give me some success there. Not 100%, because you do have to pump it twice to get the full brake effect. But as I say, it's a step forward. My plan now is to potentially buy, I can get a twin setup. It's predominantly for a hydraulic parking brake setup, but this will give me two of these master cylinders, one of which I've got an A, but it'll basically be twin. And then I've just got to devise a way of attaching the brake plunger to activate both master cylinder plungers, if you know what I mean. So be a little bit of work involved in doing that, but I think that's my only option. And then, yeah, again, I'm going to take the calipers off. I'm going to check the pistons, make sure they're all clean and free, just to rule that out as well. But certainly progression there. Right. Moving on, dilly. Okay, so you wouldn't believe it, man. Right, so I've checked the piston and the caliper. What I did was to get the piston to pop out a bit, so I could check to make sure it wasn't corroded or anything. I was pulling the handbrake on and off to edge the piston out. You could do it with the brake line, but I've obviously disconnected it, so I can't pump the brake to do it. So anyway, that popped the piston out enough. I pulled the sleeve back. I mean, it's brand new, you know, it is nothing to worry about there. So it just rules that out. However, while I was pulling the handbrake on and off, something snapped. So now the parking brake just moves up and down. It's not connected. So I'm presuming the linkage in there has snapped. Something's gone twang. So I've now got to remove all of this, find out what the issue is, then hope I can fix it, because we don't know what these cables are off. We don't know if they retrofit, if the originals, can I get the originals? So I could be in for a bit of a headache here, like, dilly. Okay, disaster averted. So all it was basically this nut or bolt screws into that, and it had just unthreaded itself. So kind of lucky in a way that it's happened here, because that could have quite easily happened when we're out on the road. And then you've got to strip all this side off to get rid, so we wouldn't have had a parking brake. We therefore would have had to try to bypass the trip switch here, which activates the pump. Now I could bypass that while I've got this cover off. Take these two connections off and just join them together. That'll mean you don't have to have the handbrake down to start the bike. Yeah, so I think I'll do that actually, because it is a safety device, I guess. But I mean, yeah, you're always going to put the parking brake on, so we'll not worry about that. Also, it's quite it's very close to the point where if you lift it up just slightly, it will like kick in. And there's no real adjustment on it. It just is what it is. So even if you're riding along, if it just lifts up slightly over a bump or something, it could cut out because it stops the fuel pump. So yeah, I'll bypass that. Another job done. Get this bolt put back on, and then we'll have a parking brake again. And then that's really it. Put this back together when the weather breaks. Maybe tomorrow I'll go out for a quick test ride. Well, not quick, as long as I need to make sure this brake doesn't bind on as a result of us just putting that single union on. Right, that's it for now. Right, all done. Parking brake back together. What I did do was put nylock nuts on the end of each of the cables, because it did just have normal nuts on, which could have vibrated loose and therefore had the same effect. Need parking brake. So I've got the nylocks on. I've put a lock nut on that so it can't come off again. I've bypassed the trip switch. Well, I haven't yet, but I've took the wires off, and I've took the actual trip switch off itself. No doubt that would become problematic at some point as well, so happy days. Yeah, parking brake rectified. Just put the side panel back on now. Dilly dilly.